Hi everyone, this is Cindy with Tana Tarot, and this is the pick a card reading, singles, all about your next or current relationship. And so we have 3 groups of cards today. So you can go ahead and look and see if you resonate with any of these cards. If you do, you can use that. Often I'll use the numbers in the timestamps as well to help me determine which pile I resonate with. So I'll give you a moment to take a look, and then I will see you over at your reading. Hey Group 1, welcome to your pick a card reading. This is singles, all about your next relationship. I have cards for you, them, and I'm going to roll some dice, and then we have some tarot to tell us more. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to start with the dice and give a roll to get some overall energy. So for you, we have 5. Let's look at the 5th house. Inner child, playfulness, joy, creativity, also pleasure and romance. It's ruled by Leo, and it means I will. So Leo is a fire sign. That could be a clue there too. Keep that in mind. Fire. Okay. Let's now roll the dice to look at their potential sign. We already have Leo, but we're all everything, so let's see. Ooh, Libra. So they could have Libra placements. And then let's also roll a dice for a month. Maybe the month you met, the month you will meet, the month you got married, the month one of you was born in. 5. So May. That's interesting. We have 2 5s too. Okay. Now let's roll the dice for your person. First, we're going to look at the house just for the overall energy of your person. We got 7. Let's look at the 7th house. Partnerships, marriage, business partnerships, domestic partnerships. So just all about partnerships. And it's about compromise, and it stands for I balance. And we have Libra. And Libra is an air sign. So that is something to remember. That's cool. Let's, interesting. Libra. Let's roll the dice for their sign. Libra. Whoa. Okay. And then let's roll the dice for a month. Again, whatever that month might mean to you. The 7th month. What is that? July. Okay. So we have the 7th house. Wow. 5 Libra 5, 7 Libra 7. Craziness. Interesting. And we have fire. And Libra is air. And we have, what was 7? Libra. So Libra, which is air. Amazing. A lot of Libra, a lot of balance. Partnerships, balance. Okay, let us get going. So I'm going to talk about you first, viewer. So for you, we have the Pilgrim. And the Pilgrim is very similar to the Hermit card in tarot, in as much as you are, I'd say, a perpetual student of life, in as much as you always are looking for answers. You are always looking inside to look at, why? Why do I do these things? Why do people act the way they do? I mean, you're just a very introspective person. And it's also about a wanderer or a traveler. So you may be a person that has lived in many places in your life. You may have moved different states or even different countries. Or if not, and you've only lived maybe a couple places, then I would venture to say that you are a traveler and like to go on pilgrimages, to see other, at least states, if not other countries, and see how other people live. So I would say being introspective and a traveler, just someone who likes to look at things from different perspectives. Let's talk a bit about the zebra. Now, the zebra is a fire sign, and we did talk about how the 5th house for you was Leo. So that is another confirmation that you may have strong fire placements in your chart. That could be a confirmation. But the zebra is depicted as, the eccentric, creative, visionary person. And I really like how that vibes against the pilgrim, in as much as more like in your head, kind of the thinker, the creative person, the person who can like maybe walk into, I'm thinking of wanting to start a business and going with a real estate agent, and they open the door and everyone else sees like, dust and dirt and wood and no ceiling, and they're like, oh my God. But you walk in and you're like, oh, you just automatically, you see where you want the counters to go and what color the walls will be and that kind of stuff. So I just kind of see you as being able to, you dream big, you're able to, you have a vision of what it is you want and what it is going to look like. Super creative. Eccentric, I'd say that you dress differently and wear your hair differently. Your hair may be different colors, like, the fun colors, like, blue or pink or green or purple. You may enjoy dressing like in a different way, maybe wearing clothes that are maybe like military inspired, like maybe the combat boots and maybe like jackets with those epaulets and lots of buttons. Or you could be totally into like long midi dresses. If you're a guy, you could wear your hair totally like different. Are man buns still a thing? I just picture you like doing something totally different with your hair than what people are doing now, be it like bald and just going bald, or maybe even going really long and having like braids or dreads, or just like a ponytail but like really long. But I just see you as just being different, and different because you don't mind the attention, but just it is your way of expressing yourself. It's your way of showing the world who you are. And so that could be some confirmation for you. Now we do have some archetype cards, and this will help you to see what kind of a person you are, and then we'll look at your person and see how they go against each other. So we have the mentor, light attribute, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. So you could be someone that in your creative, visionary way, help others. You could be like in fashion design, or some type of a teacher, some type of a tutor. You could also be into, I'm getting like a spiritual vibe. You could also be into like Reiki or a tarot reader, or, something like that. We also have it's so funny, we have the archetype virgin, and here we have the archetype prostitute. Let's see how that plays out. It's not really about being a prostitute, but it's funny. You also have the archetype virgin and the light. Oh, I'm sorry. Why don't I put him in the camera? The light attribute is maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. So when people are near you, they get like a sunshine vibe. When you were younger, your nickname could have been like Sunshine, or just something to convey the light, happy spirit that you showed when you were younger. And not that you don't have it now, but you could have some type of a nickname like that. And then Queen radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. So again, whether this is whether you are male or female, just the authority to protect others. So you are very caring about others, and always will go for the underdog no matter what. We have intuition for you as well. The energy of intuition supports our ability to conceive the subtle language of the realms beyond the three-dimensional reality. And so what this card, it really totally vibes with like the self-searching wanderer, the hermit, like introspective vibe that we got. Also about, being a mentor, and the light attribute here of the Virgin, just being more of a lighter, more spiritual being. And also with the zebra, we had like visionary. So you may be in some type of a business. It could be more 3D, as I said, like a fashion designer, or something like that. Or you could definitely even be psychic, and not only tarot cards, but maybe you have your intuition built up so much that you could be a medium, or get downloads and messages, channel messages. So all in all, I see you as a very spiritual, visionary person. Let's talk about your person, and then we'll talk about the relationship. So your person, the first thing that strikes me with the mask is that your person felt the need, unfortunately, to hide who they were for quite a long time. This could be for many reasons. First thing that comes to mind is that they could be attracted to people of the same sex, and due to pressure from family or society, they were forced to hide who they were for years and years. It could be someone who was had like psychic or interest in the occult and those types of things, but due to, again, family or society, they were forced to hide that for years. And so now, as an adult, this person is finally able to reveal who they are. And I would venture to say, as a result of the suppression, that this person may have suffered from, depression, or may have gone through some issues because they couldn't really show, their true self, who they were, and may have, suffered health issues, like maybe an ulcer or something, or maybe even went to counseling because of, having to repress their felt like, or really maybe even like security and safety had to suppress who they were for such a long time. And that's a bummer. With the eagle, the eagle is an air sign, by the way, and we do have Libra here, so find that interesting, like a confirmation. With the eagle, and this is really cool, we have the truth seeker. So this person had to, for a long time, seek their own truth, and it's not like they chose to hide what their truth was, but they were always seeking the opportunity to tell their truth, like who they were and what they were about. And they're also, which just gives me chills, your person is the person who is responsible to break the negative karma in their family's life. Just got chills. Let's look at some of their other attributes. We have damsel, understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself. So what this means is loves yourself, loves others, can give and share love, receive and give love in a healthy way. They don't need someone else to come in and save them. They are very self-sufficient. And then Samaritan refines your capacity to help those that you would prefer to ignore. And so to me, this means being a better person, probably because of what they went through. There could be someone that they really do not admire or do not appreciate the way that this person is. In fact, to get more personal, this could be someone in their family who had a negative, caused them to hide their true self because of their misperceptions or misconceptions of, what that type of a person was. And later in life, this person needed help. This person's family member or friend or whatever needed help. And your person actually gave them help, because that's just the kind of person that they are. Even though they were treated wrong or poorly or horribly throughout their life, they ended up helping that person. And then we have prostitute, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And what that means is, it doesn't have to, it could be about prostitution, selling your body for money, but what this means is not selling your soul. So some people will continue on. I'm sure they don't enter into a career or a job knowing that it's going to be soul sucking, but some people will continue on in a job for like 40 years, even though they hated it, but for the security, for the retirement, for, whatever. And your person would never sell themselves short. They will always work to recognize what is important to them, what is important to their spirit, and avoid that like the plague and make any changes that are necessary. We also have for your person the surrender card. The energy of surrender supports us to let go of illusionary control and yield to the flow of love and life. I like that. So your person is not a control freak. Your person is not attached to the outcome. Your person has the ability, one of those wonderful people that I admire so much, to actually really go with the flow and let things happen. Doesn't mean they don't have goals, doesn't mean that they don't put energy and actions out there to make certain things happen, but they are not so attached to the outcome, and they can go with the flow of life. They're very flexible. So that is the personalities, and hopefully that gives you some idea of if this reading is for you. Now, you can also, if you found yourself identifying more with the them side, please do feel free to flip the script and switch out the people. Now, as far as the relationship goes, we have some questions here. We have where. Where did you two meet? And for that, we have the King of Swords. So I would say you very well could have met in some place. Well, there's a few different options. It could be it could have been like a person in law enforcement. So you could have met this person like in a police station. Perhaps you were there to file an insurance claim or something like that. And it could be a police officer, could be an attorney. You could have met an attorney anywhere, but perhaps you were engaged in some type of lawsuit or legal action and you met an attorney. It could be someone in the court system, not just an attorney. So you could have been in a courthouse for whatever reason, met an attorney, met some type of court official, met a judge. So it could be anything to do with the law. So we have that, and it also could be military. You could have met someone that is in the military, through any means. Perhaps though you work on a military facility, you could be military and that's how you met, or you could be like a civil servant working on a military facility, some type of base, and you meet this person that way. So like law enforcement, court, military, something to do with like law, order, and authority. I will also say that your person is a very good communicator. Communication is very important to them. And also that it's interesting because the eagle is the truth seeker and the swords is all about communication and truth. So the truth will be very, very important to your person, not only in that this person be truthful in their dealings, but whoever they deal with be truthful as well. Now, how will you guys meet? I said a lot of wheres, and a lot of the wheres had hows as well, like different locations, courthouses, military bases, police stations. And so how? At work. So all of these places that I mentioned, you could work there. You yourself could work at a courthouse. You yourself could work on a military base. You yourself could work for, at a police station or sheriff's or, CHP, highway patrol or something like that. So I would venture to say that you have a very high chance of meeting this person at work. Now, I would like to talk about the relationship. What's important to them, what's important to you, and the future. Okay, so we see for you what's important is spiritualness, creativity, your vision. You like to travel, I would say. I would venture to say either, move a lot or travel. That's important to you. Kind of as a summary here, I think you're very spiritual. I think you use your intuition for your job, or if it's not your job yet, I think that you would like to switch whatever job it is you have to one where you use your intuition again, in a more spiritual realm. And then your person, one who's finally able to show who they truly are. The truth is super important to them because they weren't able to live their truth, when they were younger. And one who is very aware that they are breaking negative karmic cycles. One who is able to go with the flow, and who they are and their spirit is more important than the dollar. And they will help people, even those that you and I would think necessarily wouldn't deserve for them to help them. Now, so we have the spiritual person and the truth seeker, both spiritual in their own way. So I see a lot of things that you guys have in common. We also both came up with Libra. And if that doesn't indicate the sign of either of you, and even if it does, it also shows me that you guys would be a really good balance. You would really balance each other out well. And that's how you would get along. You would be like yin and yang. You would just really balance each other out. And where you may like to travel and go, I don't know about your person, but I could see that they would be so cool. You'd say, hey, I want to go to, wherever with some friends for a week. And they'd be like, oh, cool, take a lot of pictures. And, if they didn't want to go. Or maybe they'd say, oh, or maybe you'd say, hey, let's go. And they'd be okay, but you'd be the one that would be more interested in it. And either they'd say, because they're such go with the flow people, they'd either say, hey, let me pack my bags, or maybe you already know that, they don't like to travel as much as you, but you're fine with that. And so you want to go with your friends. And they're like, okay, send pictures, check in every day, let me know you're okay, that kind of a thing. And I do see between the two of you the common desire to really commit and to build something strong together. We have a lot of pentacles. I see that you both would be willing to work really, really hard on this relationship, really persevere and master the relationship. It would be like you, them, and the relationship, like the Holy Trinity. Nurturing this relationship would be super duper important to both of you. And I see you both in the long run creating a relationship that is so solid, and that both of you could depend on each other. Again, with the balance, you could depend on each other to do your part, and you could agree very easily on what, okay, you're going to do this and I'm going to do that, and both of you go, that totally works. These 10 things are important to us. We've decided I'll do these 5, you do that 5. And maybe one time you do 9 and they do 1. Maybe one time, I got to get my numbers right. They do 8 and you do 2. But it all balances out and it works for you guys. And I see you creating this dynasty, or, just this. I see you being solid, which is so cool because you're both so like spiritual and go with the flow. Yet I see you having, here's what I picture. I picture like, it could be 2 stories, but I picture this like cottage, and it's kind of out in the country, or at least like in the suburbs, because I don't see a lot of houses around it. And it's like that Crosby, Stills and Nash song, Our House. And I see like there's a light in the window, and there's a yard, and there's a little fence, and I see children running around, whether it's your children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews. And I see one of you, in the kitchen, baking something, or, cooking some kind of food, really cool, I don't know, like I see sprouts and granola, and then I see the other person coming in, and saying, "Oh my God, that smells awesome." And you guys, walking up to each other and giving each other a big hug and saying, "Hey," and, and a kiss. And just the safe space and comfort and joy that you feel in each other's company. And this is what I see for you. And if it did resonate, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'd love to hear in the comments all about it. And if this does resonate, what resonates? And if you see the same future. Thank you so much, Group 1. I want this. I claim this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading. This is for singles, and it's all about your next relationship. I am going to do some dice and tell you about that in a second when I do it. And then we have cards for you, cards for them, and then oracle cards. Help you identify. Also, if you start to identify more with them, feel free to flip the script. And then some cards about the relationship and the future itself. I think that's all I wanted to say. Let's go ahead and start with the dice. Now, the first dice is about your overall energy, and I'm going to relate it to the house. And so we have the 4th house. And the 4th house is about inner foundation. The home within you, and the one you grew up in. It's about, how you feel. So it's kind of about your roots, okay? Then we'll do a card for the sign to see if it's your sign, your person's sign, just any zodiac sign that, Libra. Man, I wonder if these dice are fixed. I had 2 Libras my last in Group 1. And then we'll do this die for the month. It could be the month you were born in, they were born in, the month you met, whatever. And we have 8, which is August. Okay, let me go for them. Which house is their energy? We have 9. Wanted to make sure that wasn't a 6. The 9th house, higher learning, spiritual, understanding, expansion. The 9th house is related to Sag. I forgot to tell you the 4th house is related to Cancer. But so for the 9th house, higher learning, philosophies, that type of thing. And it's about I see. Let's go ahead and do the astrological sign. Cancer. Okay, 2 Cancers. Because that relates to Cancer and Cancer. And then the month. You, them, month you met, whatever. March. Okay. Something could have happened in March. Could have met in March, whatever. Someone's birthday, anniversary. What ifs? Okay. Let us get going. So for you, first of all, for your overarching energy, we have the Siren. This is a person who is very, very in touch with their sensual, sexual side. So that part is very important to them, that part of life. Now, whether it is just instinctively who you are, and that's important, that's fine. Or whether it is a reaction to maybe feelings of lack. Sometimes we give ourselves physically, sexually, because we equate that with love. And, that's a thing, that's a thing that we need to work on to learn the difference and to work on self-love. So, viewer, I'm not sure, what your situation is, but this is saying that, that side is very important to you. And I just wanted to call out like two options, but also that people find you extremely deep. And I find it interesting that the fourth house is related to Cancer, and that's a water sign. And also the siren, hello, there you are with the tail in the water. People find you to be super, what's the word I'm looking for? Enthralling. Like being around you is an experience. They feel drawn. And those that are attracted to you and are in relationships with you would probably describe you as not smothering, but all-encompassing, like very, they would feel you all over them, like emotionally, like all the time. They would probably think about you a lot. They would, they'd just be, you'd be all-encompassing. They would feel enthralled when they're with you. I think you're just a very deep person. In fact, I would equate that probably with more Scorpio, but that's a water sign as well. We had Cancer there, but yeah, I would say how you would be described as sensual and deep, emotional, and enthralling. I think that's a word that I would use for you. We have the wolf. You could be someone who values your alone time very much. And though while there's the lone wolf, you also identify with a pack. Whether that pack is your family or friends. I kind of see you as the person who chose your own family, built your own family because maybe you don't have very much family, or maybe you are physically or emotionally removed from your family. And so I see you as someone who built your own family, and as a result, you are very, very attached to your pack. And it would be a very tight-knit group of friends, and I don't see very much. And you all have something in common, whether it be what you do for a living, or something that you all like art or motorcycle riding or tattoos, or I don't know what it is, but you all have something in common that you identify with. But in relationships, you would need a lot of alone time. Although, you'd enjoy spending time with your partner, but you need a lot of alone time. Let's look at your attributes. So we have poet. Expresses soul insights in symbolic language. So, I think I did say art. That leads me to believe that you may be either employed or somehow engaged in the arts, whether it is an actual artiste, someone who draws, paints, sculpts, or perhaps like a writer or speaker. You could do a podcast or have a YouTube channel or something like that. Then we have rebel. Challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. I really see that, like with the lone wolf and your persona. You are definitely not cut out of the same mold as the regular Joe. You are definitely not a regular Joe. And then with the whole rebel thing, I see you and your pack as being engaged in something that is considered to be alternative or fringe. And so that is what the whole rebel thing is. And I'm fascinated. Please, in the comments, let me know what it is that makes you so unique, and your group of friends that is your pack, what it is that you guys have in common. I'm very fascinated. And then Knight, we have loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. So underneath this all, and I think it's because of your water, you do have a little bit of rose in you, a little bit of a red rose in you. I think red roses might mean something to you. Being loyalty, and then the wolf with the loyalty to the pack. So loyalty is important to you. And then the whole, and honor, doing what you say, and do what you say, be who you are, you know what I mean, that whole thing. And then the romance and the chivalry. I think you keep that hidden, but I think that someone could really tickle your fancy with a romantic or a chivalrous move, like opening a door for you or bringing you a rose. And that's somewhere deep inside you, but it's there. And then we have joy. The energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well-being and supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. I think that it is something very deep and unique that brings you joy. It's the love of your pack, the intensity and the commitment and the loyalty brings you joy. And you're rebel. So it's definitely different things. It's your rebelling against the machine. It's your attachment to your pack. And it is your expression through your art. So it's way different, I would say, than what brings what I guess regular Joe is the word that I would use to describe, your standard basic person, which you are definitely not. Okay, let's talk about your person. So, we have the storm. This person either has or will tear some shit down. And it is destructive. But sometimes that's the only way it can be done. I have a hard time telling what this person's intentions were or are. Maybe as we look at the other cards, we'll be able to tell. And what the aftermath will be. I think you're drawn to them because of their darkness and their deepness. They're just as deep as you. They are very, what's the word? Literary, they're very intelligent, but what's the word I'm looking for? Shit, it'll come to me. But they're very learned. There's a word, I just can't think of it. They're very smart, they're very intelligent, they're very learned, they're very bright. I would venture to say on genius. And I'm thinking disturbed, but I understand why. You know, sometimes you see, like what we went through a few years ago, acts of violence. And while, you know, you don't want violence, but sometimes it's the only way to affect a change. The owl, wise. You know what? Let me look this bad boy up. Hold on here. Air sign. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature. The white owl in this deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. Good tidings. Okay. So either this person will be the cause of the tearing down of something. So I'm equating this to like the Tower card in the tarot. But the Tower card is fate. It's like it happens. It's not destiny. We choose our own destiny with every choice we make. So this person is going through or will go through some type of cataclysmic event that will tear everything they know down. And they'll have to start over. But the owl indicates that it'll open the door for good luck and fortune. Fascinating. Let's look at the cards. We have vampire. Boy, this whole reading is like dark. Light attribute. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Okay. You know, that could be it. This person could have been in a very negative situation or relationship. One that was draining their life force. And maybe they couldn't make a decision. Maybe they couldn't get out. Maybe they were or felt trapped. And so the universe, spirit, God came along and said, boom, there you go. And it was a big thing for this person because of the intensity of what was going on. They could have lost not only this person, which looks to be a good thing, but maybe where they lived, maybe their job. I mean, who knows how big this thing was, but it was like a huge thing in their life. Hedonist inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. And the shadow attributes. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. I'd say that in this last relationship, there was definitely an unhealthy attachment that started out with sex, but ended up no bueno. And then we have exorcist, freeing yourselves and others of destructive impulses. Wow. Yeah, this person was having the life sucked out of them. They were in this relationship for a not healthy, solid reason. and they had to get out. And their life blew up as a result of that. I think it is in the past. I do not think it has anything to do with you right now. Attraction. The energy of attraction amplifies the qualities that attract and support us on our journey toward inner balance and harmony. So the only thing that I can say about this person is that this is in the past, and it opens a whole new door for good fortune, and good things are going to come to this person, and that there is an attraction towards you. And I will say that I do see almost kind of a dark, murky vibe about you too. I would venture to say that you might wear like black lipstick or have dark polish. Oh my God. Something like that. You may just kind of be of a darker nature. You know what I mean? Like you dig that kind of stuff. That kind of has to do with like the rebel too. So I could see where that would be a common attraction between the two of you. Interesting. Whew. Now, is this someone that you want to pick up at the door of the person they just left? I don't think so. However, this person did see that what they were in was not good and healthy. They were able to get themselves out of it. They freed themselves from the person and from their own destructive impulses that kept them in there. I feel like they were kind of trapped. Wow. I just got this message. This could be you guys. You are super deep, super intense. And this person could have totally been overwhelmed by you and drowned in you. Crazy. And being with you could have felt like draining their life force. And we talked about how sex and, that side of life is so important to you. And that's why this person was attracted to you. And that was the strength, that was the thing that kept you guys together. But it wasn't good for them. Yeah, this is not past. This is you guys. And being together was just not good for you guys. You did not suit each other. They drowned in you. It got too heavy. It hurt them. Not that you did anything on purpose. It just opened up a negative, maybe almost, let me say, addictive dependence in them that was not good for them. I would say the person that deals with you has to be very strong, very, very strong. And I don't think that this person was that. Okay, I get it. And it was the initial attraction that brought you guys together. Physical attraction, sexual attraction. Deep shit, man. Deep. Okay. Where and how did you meet? I would venture to say that you guys were met in some type of educational setting, whether an actual school, a college, night classes, could be a class, any type of learning where you guys were students, or it could be student and teacher, all of age. I don't want any of those kind of comments. Everything I talk about is of age and consensual. But it could have been, like a, adult class, and one person could have been a teacher and the other could have been attending the class. So, but I do see something about learning and student and higher education. And I do see this person as being very intelligent and very intellectual. That's the word I was looking for. Intellectual. Okay. How did you meet? Either in one of the classes, could have been through friends, or it also could have been like outdoors. So it could have been like with friends outdoors, maybe a picnic, a concert, hiking. You could have gone hiking with a friend and these other people hiking past you and you were like, ooh. So somehow, I think through friends and outdoors. And then the future. I think we already know that it didn't work and that you guys weren't suited. I see that it didn't or won't end like the Hollywood relationships. We have the greatest, utmost respect for each other and we appreciate your privacy in this time of, whatever. This card, this is the future, and this card represents lying, cheating, stealing, betrayal, sabotaging. So it did not or will not end well. Someone will go out and cheat on someone. Someone will do something to sabotage it, just to make it end. So, what a downer. Hey, singles. Wow. We've all been in relationships that didn't work, and this one didn't or is not going to. You know who you are. Whether you're on this side or this side. Just too heavy, too strong, too susceptible, not weak, just susceptible. So, group 2. I don't know where you are at in this, if this does resonate, but I see it being okay. I see you being fine with your rebel alternative self because you have your pack. You have joy. It's a different kind of joy, but you have joy. You are going to be okay. It would have been easier to get out of this than you thought. I think most of the trapped feeling was in your own mind. But it was a big thing for you to get out. It was hard for you to get out. However, we do have good tidings. Things will turn around. You're going to see good fortune. This is a good omen. And you will move forward and grow in your realization of who you are and what you want. So it's okay. You know, shit happens, right? So this is what I have for you, Group 2. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, Group number 3. We are doing the pick a card reading for singles, all about your next relationship. Although group number 2 was in it. So it could be your next or your current. I think I may kind of change the title there. First, we're going to do some dice for your energy, your zodiac sign, and then a month that might mean something to you. Well, this is you, this is them, or if you find that you are resonating more with them, this side, you can flip the script. That is totally fine. And then we'll look at some tarot about where and how you met in your future, and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and start with the dice. First, I'm going to roll a dice for the house, for the energy. And we have the 8th house. Now, the 8th house is about transformation. It's ruled by Scorpio, so it's about transformation, sexuality, rebirth, life and death, change. It can also be about addictions, and it means I desire. Okay, let's do an astrological sign. Sagittarius. Alrighty, and then let's do another number for a month. The month you met, the month either of you were born in. You know what? That one was on its side. It didn't count. 5. So May. Or the number 5 could just mean something else, and that's for you. Let's roll for them. The 5th house. The 5th house is about your inner child. Playfulness, joy, creativity. It can also be about pleasure and romance. It's ruled by Leo, and it means I will. Let's roll the sign, the zodiac sign. Libra. Boy, Libra shows up a lot. And then let's roll a number for a month or anything else that means anything to you. 7th month, July. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, and I'm going to, again, this is you, but go ahead and flip it if need be. The overall energy for you is the ocean. So this is about being, very deep, huge, untamable. But it's also about transformation. So I'd say that number 1, you have like a wild side or something inside of you, some inner, that kid that we see memes on Facebook, and there's like 5 kids in the ballet class and they're all doing ballet, but there's that one that's going for it. That's you. And that's the wild, untamable part. And then also, though, I see a current energy of some type of transformation that's taking place. And, it's given me chills because it's right next to the buffalo. And the buffalo is such an, in itself, oxymoron or dichotomy, because the buffalo is like the biggest, bulkiest, strongest, physical, tangible animal on the ground, earth. but it's also one of the most freaking spiritual creatures that ever existed. And so when the American Indian hunted and killed the buffalo for food, they used every single piece of the buffalo, the meat to eat, the fur to stay warm for clothing and blankets, the tendon for rope. I mean, and they thanked their gods. They thanked the buffalo. Thank you for giving your life so that, we can live and we can survive. And they appreciated it and they thanked it and they revered it. And so I see that within you too. And whether it's who you've always been or the transformation that you're going through now, you are a very, I'd say, just like solid, stable person, but also super spiritual. And I don't know if you're both and you'll always be both, or I don't know if you are leaving some of that need for security and stability behind and becoming more spiritual. But that's the message that I'm getting there. I usually do this last, but I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Originality. The frequency of originality supports our capacity to be unique and original creators of unlimited possibilities in every moment. And that goes right back to the ballet class. And all the other little girls are, doing the thing and pointing their toes. And then the one girl's going, buck wild with ballet. And that's you. You are an original. You are authentic. You're definitely going through some type of transition as well. Let's go ahead and look at the cards, the archetype cards. So we have mystic, light attribute, revels in intimate union with the divine. So this goes right along with this transformation that I'm seeing here. Whether you've always known that you had some type of connection to spirit, or whether those channels have recently been opened, I would say that you're either just becoming more open to the concept of the spirit, the universe, God, a larger, something bigger than you. And that would be pretty hard because you're the ocean. Whether you're just opening yourself up to that, or whether and studying that and going down that path, or whether you actually have like some psychic powers. Whether you're got one of the clairs, clairaudience, clairsentience, whether you've just kind of discovered, you've had a transformation, and you've just discovered that you have these powers, I'll call them. Something's happening and you are good with it. You are reveling in it. Dilettante. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. And I totally understand that. Because when I started this channel, I was so insecure. I had been, and I still am, but I'd been doing tarot and interested in tarot for years and years, but just like playing around and for family and friends and stuff. And then a few years ago, I thought, you know what? I really want to learn this. I love this. And I found that, there's some basics. There's some stuff you need to know for sure. But I found that the more I tried to master it, the less joy I found in it. And even now doing this, I strive to keep it fresh and original. So let's read that again. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alert you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. The day that I gotta make shit up, or that it becomes not fun and not exciting, is the day that I won't do it anymore. And I think that's what this is saying. And you understand that. And so you have some type of interest. And it may be this new union with the divine, which I take to be spiritual interest that you've got going on. And then we have martyr, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So you may be transitioning from like a 9 to 5 into something like some type of spiritual endeavor, Reiki, tarot reader, what else? I mean, life coach. I mean, there's a gazillion different things. And so you may be transitioning. And so that's how you can identify yourself. And I think you're pretty awesome. Now let's look at your other person. Let me look at the offering. I have memorized some of these, but hold on here. The gift, the present, the sacrifice. Unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is a time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. Offering something for the greater good, like a sacrifice. So this means that your person is going through this. Now, is it in relationship to your relationship? I don't know. But your person is finding the need right now, or will be, or has recently, the need to give something up, to sacrifice something. And that could be shopping for clothes. It's giving up something that really means something to them because it's a sacrifice. So let's just look at the rest of the cards and see where we land. Your person is also represented by the lion, which is like proud, loyal, strong, a leader. It's a fire sign, so it could represent Leo. Oh, Buffalo is earth, by the way, if I didn't mention that. So we have earth, and then Sagittarius is fire, and Libra is air, and Leo is fire. So we have a strong, loyal, fierce person who is in the energy of having to give something up. And whether it has anything to do with this relationship, let's see. Let's look at the archetype cards to see this person's attributes. Oh, isn't this fascinating? Mother, father, priest. Well, that reminds me of that Prince song. He wanted to be everything. I want to be your mother. I want to be your father. He wanted to be everything. So let's see. Mother, light attributes. Nurturance, patience. Oh, patience was one of those too. Nurturing, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. That's a mother. Father. Talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And then priest. Facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Wow. So, taking care of, supporting, and let's go ahead and look at this. Abundance. The energy of abundance activates our ability to manifest the wealth we need and the sense of fulfillment that comes from a heart and soul that are overflowing with love and gratitude. It just seems kind of backwards to me. It seems to me that with gratitude, you create the energy of abundance. That was a long sentence. It kind of had to read it twice. Okay, so we have a strong, loving, loyal, patient person. Very giving, supporting, very spiritual, very grateful. You are also going through a spiritual transition. You know, I feel like this person is giving up a way of life. And I think that's something similar that you're going through as well. Because you are going through a transition. Like I said, you may be giving up your day job for a more spiritual way of supporting yourself, living your life. But you have to be careful not to make it superficial. I like that. I love that card. Not to become a professional at it. I like it. So, here is the message that I'm getting. I think that you both have met somewhere, and you know, it's so funny because the tarot cards are telling a totally different story, but let's see. I think that you both are giving up some type of not only way of supporting yourself, but way of looking at things. Like this person has always been like a giving, supportive person, but I see them morphing through a sacrifice into a way more spiritual person. This person may have been very abundant and very into the more, tangible, earthly things or pleasures of life. And I believe that this person is giving those up and sacrificing them spiritually and maybe even financially to be able to pursue a different way of life, a more spiritual way of life. And I see you going through a similar transition. So you guys are like mirroring each other. And here, martyr, isn't that like a sacrifice? Yes. Very interesting. And I think group number 2 was just night and day different, but I see you guys like totally mirroring each other. Interesting. Now, where did you meet? And it's so funny to say this, but the King of Wands, creative, inspiring. Now, Wands, of course, is also about attraction, chemistry. You know, some people liken the wand to a phallic symbol. But I would say somewhere where you found inspiration and the ability to be creative with your spiritual enlightenment, you know, in the process that you were going through. And so to me, that could be a traditional, like, church. It could be a class, some type of spirituality class. So some place. It could be a like a seminar, or you could belong to a similar. You could belong to a group that had, like a spiritual group. Could be online. Where people have similar interests that have to do with spirituality. So I think it was just some type of place where you found inspiration and you were able to be creative. And again, so I just gave you like a ton of thoughts. So could be more traditional church, could be some type of spiritual group, could be a class, seminar, something online. To summarize. Now, how did you meet? Well, where and how are kind of combined here. So I'm really leaning with the Ace of Wands more towards like this looks to me like the hand of God or spirit or universe, whatever you want to call it, reaching down from heaven with the spark of something. It's like, here you are. Look at the green leaves, the abundance. It's about taking a new action. So I believe that both of you have been inspired by a higher power to go through this. And that's kind of how you got together at all of these places I mentioned. And Spirit could have definitely like hooked you guys up, right? He could have said, Spirit's a he. Spirit could have said, it's a she. But Spirit could have said, wow, look at the transition that this person's going through. Look at this. We've got this started. Let's bring them together and watch them, build this and grow together. It's like what you're going through and meeting is a gift from God or from Spirit. And then the future. This is beautiful. The 8 of Cups. You are both leaving behind, and it's not a bad thing you're leaving behind. All these cups are upright. Nothing's broken, nothing's spilled, nothing's ruined. But you are both leaving behind a former way of thinking, acting, expressing yourself, being. You're both leaving that behind. And you both started this process separately, but you find a common ground and a common goal. And you want to come together. Now, it's very, intellectual, spiritual, where is the love? Well, I'll tell you. Even though we're leaving behind the old here, still, we have cups, which indicates love. We have wands, which indicate chemistry and attraction. So, as far as relationships goes, I see you guys, it looks to me like you'll always have this common need to pursue your spiritual path and to help others. But within that, I see the possibility of, having a very good and solid, healthy, loving relationship. Yeah. One of sacrifice, one of service. Yeah. Very different from anything I've ever experienced myself. Very admirable. But let's not forget, creative, supporting, nurturing. These are the things that we bring to the relationship, as well as our spiritual growth. Yeah. Different than anything I've ever experienced. Very unique. I don't know if I've ever seen a reading like this, as you can probably tell. But yeah, both on the same path and then coming together and continuing on the path. So that is what I have for you, Group 3. If it resonates, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And make a comment. I did have interest in pick-a-cards from some of my readers when I did, my viewers, when I did a poll. And so I'd be very interested to know how you like the pick-a-cards, and also topics, future topics. I'd be very interested in finding out what you want to see. So thank you so much, group number 3. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.